Hi, I'm with Aaron Scully, instructor of theater at the University of Central Missouri, and he's working on a very unique project. He's adapting the play Oedipus, a traditional Greek play, with students at State Fair Community College, and the performance dates are coming up February 25th through the 27th at 7:30 and February 28th at 2 o'clock. Aaron, thank you so much for joining us here today. We're excited to have you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Well, can you tell, for people who don't know you, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
I am a Bergian. I grew up in Warrensburg and ended up going to school at Mizzou, and then made my way back here and got my master's, and then got my PhD in theater at Mizzou again, and then got a job back here. So I am now married to my lovely wife, Ashley, and I have two dogs, Gus and Ophelia.
Gus and Ophelia, any relation to Hamlet, or?
Yes, that's where Ophelia came from.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, she's actually a really sane dog, though. So I am a playwright. I've been writing plays since I first started studying theater again back in 2012, and subsequently won a few awards at KCACTF for some of the plays I wrote. I've had a play that's been in semifinalist for the Eugene O'Neill Conference, which is the big national conference, and then I've had plays produced around the country, 5 or 6 different cities, some 10-minute plays, some one-acts, and full-length plays. So,
can you tell me a little bit about the play that you've written is based upon an original Greek play by Sophocles? Can you tell me a little bit about the story of Oedipus?
So Oedipus Rex, or Oedipus the King, by Sophocles, was written way back around 400 BC. It's about, there's a plague in the city of Thebes where Oedipus is the king, and the reason why there is a plague is because something is going on that shouldn't be. The people of Thebes coming to King Oedipus and saying, "Help us." And so in order to try to help them, he embarks on this investigation as to what is going on. Through his investigation, he subsequently learns that he had accidentally killed his father and is now married to his mother. So it's a comedy.
It's a very happy play. It's actually a great play. I mean, I've read it myself, obviously, being a theater person. But a lot of people think, well, gosh, it's old and it's Greek.
I really was thinking about the Midwestern audience and whether they would really like to come into a theater and see, even if you do a really simple translation of Oedipus that simplifies the language, there's still a lot of monologues, and there's the chorus, and there's just not a whole lot of action because they're just talking about what happens. So in a lot of ways that's really brilliant, but in a lot of ways that can be quite boring. I just wanted to do something different with it, and so I decided that I was going to write my own Oedipus story based on what happens in Sophocles' play, and really just take that and run with it in a different direction, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially what happened is State Fair approached me about directing for them. Over a year ago now. It was before the pandemic started. So I had selected a different play, just a small cast realism play. And then the pandemic happened. And then they said, Tim Wells, who is the technical director over at State Fair, called me and said, do you still want to do that play? And I was like, I don't know. You've read a play, you have a vision as a director of what it's going to look like and what you're going to try to work towards. Well, when people start having masks on and have to social distance, that vision can't really be accomplished. So you have to be either okay with that or say, you know what, I'm going to wait and do this play later. So that's what I decided to do, and I was like, what could I do that would work within this environment? So really when I started the adaptation, it was pretty highly political, and it wasn't very good. So I threw that out and then started thinking about it. I think a lot about my plays when I'm walking my dogs, so that's usually where my ideas happen and
does Ophelia
simmer.
give you some feedback about?
She does. She does.
Theater experience,
She looks at me, and if I can tell when she's smiling if I got a good idea. So I went back to the drawing board and thought about this idea of just doing like a biopic of Oedipus, and started writing some of the initial scenes, and I really liked where they were going, and started thinking about how to tell this whole story of his life. And so that's essentially what I did, and I got to the rehearsal room for the first rehearsal, I had the first 25 pages done. It was quite scary, and I don't know what the actors thought about not having a full script, but I just said, we're going to get started telling the story and see where it goes. And so we did. We started blocking and thinking about the first scenes, and there's a lot of movement in it, and so I let the actors design some of these movement scenes, and we looked at how that went, and then so it just kind of slowly built itself. It ended up working out. So just the idea of having everybody in a room and just throwing ideas out, and then starting to move around and see what happens, and then on top of that, the character work that was happening with everybody. It's really an amazing transition as a writer when you actually have the people that are playing the characters in your head when you're writing for them. Really, they gave me ideas. I wrote all the words, but they definitely collaborated on how I was going to write those words. It's been very cool, very rewarding and fun, and the students over there are just so creative and pleasant and hardworking, and I've just really enjoyed it.
It sounds like to me it's Oedipus giving us the background and then telling the story almost in a more user-friendly way than the original play did. Absolutely.
Very, very tight, short scene changes. So it feels like they're movie cuts. And Aaron, the actor playing Oedipus, is really, really knocking this out of the park.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Please come see the show. It should be a lot of fun. No, it is a lot of fun. I made it a point to try to add quite a bit of levity to a very serious story.
It is a great play, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And Aaron, I just really appreciate you coming in and talking about the show.
Thank you,
I
Eric.
know it's your passion, and I can tell that just by talking to you. And I know the students at State Fair, from what I've heard, are really enjoying the process. So I appreciate you doing that.
That is good to hear.
So thank you so much.
Eric. I appreciate it.